once again, my friends, to Wake Up with Big Al. And as always, I'm your host, Big Al. And today we're going to discuss the law of attraction and vibration. And when I talk about vibration, no, I am not talking about the egg beater that you found in your mom's sock drawer when you were a kid. So, we're going to talk about what a powerful law of the universe the law of attraction is. The law of attraction can be found in many ancient manuscripts, even the Bible, every religious book, the Quran. All the books around the world talk about the power of the law of attraction, which applies to everyone, whether you believe it or not, and whether you understand it or not. So these things apply to you, so it's good to know how the universe works. And every particle of matter in the known universe vibrates at a frequency. The human brain and brains of other living creatures transmits vibrational energy at a certain frequency. So basically, the human brain is similar to a radio tower, and you are constantly broadcasting your predominant thoughts. You know, generally if you're a negative or a positive person, you will be transmitting on a frequency that is associated with that. Generally, a positive, happy person is transmitting at a higher frequency than that of someone who is negative. And you can also receive vibrational frequency. Your brain can pick up on other people's energies, and the more in tune and the more knowledge you have about these things, the more you can pick up on other people's energies. And a simple proof that most people would be familiar with is, let's say you're at a big concert or just around a large amount of people, and you're paying attention maybe to the singer or the show, whatever's going on, and you can just feel, it's like you feel it on the back of your neck, the eyeballs of somebody else. Well, it's not that you can feel their eyes, you can feel their energy. There's a good saying that says, energy flows where attention goes. So this has been proven in double-blind studies that people can pick up on other people's energies. You know, it's not me just saying this. This is something that has been proven over and over again by people with very high levels of intelligence, like Thomas Edison and Albert Einstein. They have scientifically proven that the brain does in fact transmit and receive frequency. Whatever your predominant thoughts are, whether they be positive or negative, and what they are focused on, you attract into your life. If you are someone who predominantly has positive thoughts that are on a certain subject, like you think about money, let's say, and you feel that you are a type of person who money can flow to easily, then generally you live that. You have money flowing to you. And the opposite of that, I can actually give you a good example of why some of you will remain broke and unsuccessful for the rest of your life, is because of the fact that you think so negatively. But I was at Walmart a few weeks ago, and as I left, I was walking through the parking lot, and I could not help but overhear the conversation that a woman was having with her boyfriend. And she was saying, well, we're not going to have the money to pay this bill, and we can't afford to pay that, and this is going to happen. It was so negative. Like, it was just giving me such a negative vibe off just walking past this person. She was just oozing with negative, low frequency energy, and I could feel it. And I thought to myself, well, you're never gonna have the money to pay those bills, and you're always gonna be in a negative situation until you change your thoughts, until you change your actions, because your thoughts create your actions. Your thoughts become things. You know, uh, every good invention that's out there, your cell phone, your TV, the camera that I'm filming this show with, everything started off as an idea, and with actions and beliefs, those things, those thoughts became things. So thoughts do become things, my friends. What you are broadcasting, you will attract into your life. And something else that's kind of interesting is, you know, the Bible said that as Christians, we're gonna, not be accepted by the world. And this is not only because they have different beliefs than us, but generally speaking, this doesn't apply in every case, but generally speaking, most Christians vibrate and transmit higher frequency energy. And it scares off people who are at a lower vibration, because people who are on different energetic levels kind of just will scare each other off. They will give each other bad vibes. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad people. There's a saying on the opposite end of that spectrum that says, birds of a feather flock together. Well, it can really be said that people who are transmitting similar frequency energy will flock together. And that's very true. That's why you see a lot of people who hang out quite frequently have a lot of similar predominant thoughts and do similar things. There's always exceptions to every rule, but for the most part, that you will attract into your life people who are of similar frequencies, and you will repel people of other frequencies. And as a Christian, a lot of times we have a limited amount of friends that we can really trust. And it's partially because of, who can you trust? I trust very few people, and the people that I do trust, they're on a thin line, It's sad, but that's the way it is, However, if you have few friends, it's not necessarily that you're a douchebag. Maybe you are, but you may just be transmitting at a higher or lower frequency, and you are around predominantly people who are at a different frequency. So that's another part of the reason why Christians, which unfortunately we are a minority, so that's part of the reason why we are shunned by the world to an extent, because we generally, like I said, we vibrate at a higher frequency. So we tend to send the other people running, They feel our positive energy, but to them it feels like it's something that's foreign or negative, when in reality we are positive, happy people. And, when you're on a higher frequency, generally you're going to be happier and healthier in life. And for the most part, God willing, you'll live a longer, happier life with more success, and you'll attract people who are more in tune with you, and people who are also on successful journeys through life, and who are making something of themselves and getting out there and doing something. But there's another big part of that. You know, you have to take action in life. You have to make the most of every second that we are given. And you have to really get out there and work hard in life. But as hard as you could ever work, you have to think positively a million times harder than that. For every little bit of thought power in a positive manner is more powerful by far than many, many hours of physical labor. But that it does not mean that you can live just by thinking you want to be happy and thinking about the good things you can do with your life. You have to take action. And unfortunately, most people fail to take any action in life. You know, I see for the most part, you know, people are just content with what they do for their job. And they think that, okay, let's say I'm going to work at a business, and even though the business has nothing really to do with my daily life, I'm just going there and putting in hours and just collecting my paycheck. People think that because they went out and they worked a 8 or 10, 16-hour day, that they really accomplished something. Well, no, you really didn't accomplish much of anything. You did work for somebody else that didn't really improve your life. So, you know, people just kind of feel like they're moving on in life. They're moving up when in reality you're just treading water. And you really have to get out there and make a difference in the world. You know, you can have your own business. You can do your own things in life. You can do whatever it is that makes you happy. You know, I don't do very many things that I don't enjoy, unless I really have to. You know, it's not about just fulfilling your own needs, but look for what it is that you like to do with your life and do that. And then really you're not working all that hard, you're just enjoying your life. And that's a very powerful thing to do. And once you realize that, it can be life-changing, because for the most part, most people just kind of drudge along and think how much they hate their lives every day. And you get your little paycheck and you pay your bills if you can afford them. And you just sit at home and you play on your Facebook all day, or you play video games. And what is that accomplishing for yourself? Nothing really. You know, you may have some positive contact with some friends. Are they really who they say they are? Who knows? Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. There's a lot of fake people out there. You know, people are fake to your face so often. What makes you think they would not be fake when they could hide behind a computer? It's just gives parasites a platform to manipulate other people. So you know, when you associate with other like-minded people who think a similar way, you are creating a mastermind, which is a group of people who think similarly and are transmitting similar frequencies. And that intensifies the frequency. And let's say you are trying to attract wealth or a positive goal in life. If you are masterminding with other like-minded individuals, that can attract and bring those things into your life a lot faster than you could on your own. You know, maybe not in every case, because some people are much more in tune and are capable of transmitting a much higher frequency than other people. You know, there's a lot of good information out there about the law of attraction. And most people of today's society are familiar with the book and the movie The Secret. Well, I read and watched those. And I have read and watched various other shows and programs and books, and I can tell you that the secret is lacking on a lot of key information that really will allow you to uh, put the law of attraction into effect. One major thing that is missing from The Secret is the effect of your food and drink and your medicines upon your frequency. You know, the powers that be, the people who rule the world, who are at the top, know this information. And they have gone through great lengths to hide this information from the general public. Now, a lot of these people control the food, the pharmaceutical industry, water. Water's like the new gasoline. So they manipulate their products. It's with electronics too. The products are manipulated to cause your vibrational frequency to be lowered. So the pharmaceuticals are a big one with that. I would say probably 99% of them will negatively affect your frequency. The food, you know, a lot of times you are not just absorbing nutrients from various types of food, you are also absorbing the energy from those foods. So if it's on a lower vibration, you are also exposing yourself to the lower vibration, so that takes down your frequency a few notches. And a lot of people don't realize that there are many pharmaceuticals which are intentionally put into our water supply. Now, here in Cortland, I can't say whether that is the case or not. I would say there's a good chance there probably is, but I can't say for certain because I don't know. However, we have many stores that have products shipped from wherever these things come from. Could be from around the world, and like let's say it's a soda or a juice. For the most part, those things are made with tap water from that area. So whatever is being put in that water supply is being transported to right here to Cortland, and you're consuming that. So a lot of the water supply does in fact contain pharmaceuticals, and the wastewater treatment facilities are very lacking in their capabilities to even provide you with clean water in the first place, but there really isn't any of them that remove the pharmaceuticals. You know, it's kind of crazy, and one of the main ones that are in there is man-made estrogens, and that's from a lot of the women who are on birth controls, and that plays a big part in feminizing men. You know, nothing against gay people. You know, I have respect for everyone. What you do with your life is up to you. However, would you be interested to know that a lot of the chemicals in plastics and food and the water are feminizing men? It's affecting your hormone levels and turning you gay. Women, it's turning you gay as well. So like I said, nothing against anyone who makes that choice in life. You know, I'm not for it, and I'm not against it. I kind of take a neutral stance. At the end of the day, you are responsible for your own decisions, and whether it's good or bad, you will face the consequences for your decisions. But you are at a disadvantage when you are given chemicals that will alter your brain chemistry and your hormones to make you think or feel a certain way. So consider that. As I have said before, it is important, very important, to drink water that has been through the distillation process. And if you look into re-energizing water, because for the most part the water supply is dead, it has no energy. It's just, well, it has energy, it's just not a positive energy. So it's what can be called a dead energy water. So you can look into revitalizing that, and that can raise your vibration to a great degree. The water is very powerful, and it's not given the proper credit that it truly deserves.
Wake up with Big Al, wake up with Big Al. Ooh, ooh. Wake up with Big Al, wake up with Big Al. Wake up with Big Al, wake up with Big Al, wake up with Big Al. Wake up with Big Al, wake up with Big Al. Wake up with Big Al, wake up with Big Al. Ooh. Ooh, I'm a monkey, I need to watch. Wake up with Big Al. Ooh, Big Al is so awesome. Ooh, this is a good show. Later.
You know, before the law of gravity was really written down and scientifically reproduced and understood, people still fell off buildings. People, if they were climbing up a mountain, they could still fall off. The law of gravity still worked. So even though the law of attraction is in the process of being proven with the scientific method, it is something that has worked for as long as thoughts have existed. And in a short period of time, I am 100% certain that it will be proven to all the people who can't tell how obvious it is, who may doubt the fact that the law of attraction is a very powerful law of the universe. So consider that, my friends, because as I said before, whether or not you choose to accept it, or whether or not you even are aware of the law of attraction, it is in effect in your life. Every single thought that you transmit does have an effect on your life, whether it is minuscule or to a greater degree. You know, your thoughts can also affect physical matter, not just other people. You know, earlier I had mentioned how, you know, when you're at a concert, you can feel someone else's eyes on the back of your neck, and you turn around and they're looking right at you, and you know, you just automatically turn to exactly where they are, and you see their eyes looking at you. You know, what does that person do? Automatically they act like they weren't looking at you, but you could feel the energy coming from that person. So that is just a tiny, tiny, tiny example of the powers that humans transmit. As I said before, energy flows where attention goes. So, you know, rich people and poor people think very, very differently from one another. You know, rich people think that they are rich, and the poor people think, for the most part, that they're poor. How do you become rich if you are poor? Think that you're rich. And the law of attraction, with the mathematical formula that I have presented, when you apply that correctly, and you are transmitting a high frequency, and you're keeping those things in your predominant thoughts, it's guaranteed to become a reality. The only thing that may hinder you is maybe some unforeseen events or your own belief in these things. So consider that, because these things are life-changing. And me personally, I have seen some physical proof of the law of attraction that, for the most part, if I really told you about some of the things I've seen without knowing me, you would just think I'm some nutcase. But some of the smaller examples are, you know, if you really need something in life and you really think about it a lot of times those things just magically appear in your life. People who can give you those things, or situations and circumstances present themselves to allow you to acquire your desires. So a lot of times I'll be thinking about something, you know, I need whatever, and understanding at least a little bit about the law of attraction. You know, I'm not a pro. I'm a beginner compared to many, by any means. So when there's something that I want, I think like I already have it. And the universe kind of moves itself, and things happen, and suddenly it's presented to me. And a lot of times it'll be the same color, same everything that I had believed it to be. And that may sound crazy to a lot of people out there, but reality, that's how the laws of the world work, the laws of the universe. You know, the Bible said, ask and you shall receive. You know, when you are thinking about something, it's very, very powerful, even more powerful than your words, because these things are being transmitted, and it's on a quantum physics level. Your thoughts are not affected by time and space. So you can have an effect on physical matter or another person on the other side of the planet instantaneously when they enter your mind. Basically, when you think, your brain is sending out, transmitting tiny particles of matter. Your thoughts not only become things, your thoughts are things. Your thoughts are transmittable physical matter on a very very tiny scale. It's kind of like how radio signals and cell phone signals, you know, you could be in a basement surrounded by concrete, but the particle flow to your phone or your radio, it flows through the concrete because it is made of smaller particles which can go right through the concrete or whatever it is that is surrounding it. Your thoughts are even, the particles are even smaller, and as I said, they work on a quantum physics level, and they are far more powerful. You know, if you're someone who's transmitting on high frequency, they're very, very far more powerful than radio or cell phone broadcasts. And that may be hard to understand or accept, but these things have been scientifically proven over and over again. And that's why a lot of the new video game systems and electronics will be interfacing with the brain. When there's already programs out there where, let's say, for example, you are on a computer which interfaces with the human brain, you can think a certain word or think of a website and it will pop up. That's because your thoughts are being transmitted and those thoughts can then be decoded into information in the computer system. So your thoughts can be read at this point in human history, in which that's a power which is easily abusable, because you know when you are interfacing with something that can read your thoughts, all the electronics have back doors in them. They all, that's why, especially with the Microsoft, with Windows, that's why it works like crap. And that's why forever the Apple computers were working so much better, is because they didn't have as many back doors, which is additional software or additional codes in the software that allow the manufacturers to spy on you, to access your personal information. Now, now that Apple's kind of changed their policy and they become part of the spy grid, these things don't work as well. That's why, like their phones work like crap, even though at this point, they're somewhat advanced, but they have a lot of problems with freezing and crashing, is because they have so many back doors, and governments around the world can use those to spy on you. It's this is openly admitted information. I'm just passing this on. It's like, if this sounds crazy to you, then I really suggest that you continue to watch this show, because I'm just passing on information that is openly available to the public. So be careful how and what you think. So, this is pretty interesting to think about. Some of the religious aspects of some of this. A lot of the questions that arise is, how could God hear and understand all these prayers at once? Well, when you really take into consideration that everything with a brain on the planet is transmitting information. Every brain is a little broadcasting tower. Now, I'm not suggesting that this is how God actually gets this information. However, let's take into consideration something. If we, as a race of beings, if we were to develop technology like a super advanced supercomputer that could that could pick up and decode all of the thoughts of every being on the planet, and let's say we place it on the moon, this supercomputer, that could then decode and translate the thoughts of every living being on the planet at any given time. It would obviously take advanced technology to do that. However, understanding the fact that thoughts are things and they can be decoded, we can take into account the thought that God, as being someone with a much more advanced awareness and obviously technology, God could very easily, whether through just his own brain or whatever God may have, where his thoughts take place, or through technology, could in fact pick up the thoughts and prayers of every living being on the planet and decode them all at the same time. So, that when you really think about what human beings are capable of technologically, and we really take these things into consideration, and we know, and we think about what we know as being fact, like the thoughts being things, even though it doesn't necessarily define how God does certain things, it's interesting to consider them because we know that they are possible. So, the Bible doesn't give us a lot of the details of how things are done, but it gives us the basic facts. As time goes on, the more we discover as a society, scientifically, it seems, the more we prove the Bible to be correct, and we discover more of, you know, a possibility of how some of these miraculous things could have taken place. You know, mankind has already been able to transmit matter. You know, the only thing really lacking at this point from being able to transmit, let's say you wanted to transmit a couch to, you know, around to the other side of the planet, the only thing that's really lacking at this point is the thing to put the molecules into place at the other end properly. So it seems to me like at this point the technology that exists would just send a soup, you know. We are capable of transmitting matter as human beings with our what we think is advanced technology, but you know, Lord willing, if we're continuing to exist for another 20 years, even the things we have today will be considered childish and garbage, you know. So take these things into consideration. And you know, I kind of got off topic a little bit. We were talking about the law of attraction. You know, as I said before, the main information that people know about the law of attraction comes from the book The Secret. However, there are many other programs, such as, you know, one of the old school secret, you know, for the people of the early 1900s, was a book by Napoleon Hill called The Law of Success in 16 Lessons. You know, Napoleon Hill was sent on a life mission, which, you know, really the only way he was compensated was he was given his room and board, and all his expenses were paid, and he was on a mission to go around the world and talk to the most richest and successful people on the planet. And he did that, and he talked to a lot of different people in various industries and different states of their life, and he discovered that the majority of successful people all think and act in a certain way. And it was one of the early mainstream publications that described the law of attraction. You know, as you think, you become. You know, if, as I said before, your predominant thoughts become your reality. You have to think of things that you want as being something that you already have. If it's something you want to become, if you want to become a better boyfriend to your girl, or you want to become someone who's more educated, you have to see yourself as being that before you can become that. Like attracts like. So, you know, if someone is a billionaire, they think a certain way. If someone is on food stamps or, you know, scraping the bottom of the barrel to feed their family, they think a completely different way. If you want to be a billionaire, you have to learn to think like a billionaire. And then, you know, Lord willing, things will happen in your life, and you'll be able to take advantage of things that just randomly pop up. And you know, you have to put an effort and work in life too, as I've said. But you will be on your way to becoming what it is that you want to be in life. You know, hopefully your main goal is not to just focus on money and physical things, but to focus on God and your family and becoming a better, more positive person. You know, another great informational series is a CD or MP3 set that Kevin Trudeau put out. It was called "Your Wish is Your Command," and that's someone who, um, I don't agree with everything everyone says, and I don't think that anyone should, because no one is perfect. I've made mistakes, many, many, many mistakes, and even the most accurate people have times when they say something wrong or make an error. That's fine. It's part of life. It's part of being a human being. However, one of the few sources of information that I would seriously trust, probably 98% of the information that comes out of this person's mouth, would be Kevin Trudeau. So uh, that is someone who I would highly recommend that you listen to and read his information. But he had a series that, like I said, it was Your Wish is Your Command. It's a 14 CD set. So, if you get that, you can be prepared to be listening to it for a while. And, with something at that length, you're going to have to really listen to it a few times. But it really breaks down some of the secrets that even The Secret didn't talk about. So you might want to consider getting that or downloading it. Nowadays everybody just downloads CDs and movies, and I can't tell you to do anything illegal, but it's out there. It's available. Today all you have to do is click on a single button. You can have a movie the day it's out in the theaters, or you can have a CD, within minutes. So that information is out there, and I highly recommend that you expose yourself to that, because it can be life-changing. I was kind of introduced to the law of attraction in around 2005, I'd say. And at first this information kind of, it was overwhelming. But now that I have had several years to really research these things and look into them, I have discovered how accurate the information is and how life-changing it really truly is. A lot of times you'll hear good advice in your life and you won't take it at first, but years down the road you'll think about it, or you'll run into that same person again and they'll tell you the same thing, and you'll say, wow, you were right on that. I should have listened to you a long time ago. So the sooner you can get this information and apply it to your life, the better your life will be. It's not about getting from A to Z in a day. It's about taking steps. However, the quicker you take those steps, and if you can jump over a couple steps sometimes maybe, and get ahead of the game, sometimes that can have a huge positive effect on your life and your family. We got to do this for our kids. We got to teach our families how to think properly and how to attract positive things for themselves, because their vibration affects you. And if the people around you are raising their vibration, not only will that positively affect your own vibration, but these are the people you care about. At the end of the day, who really matters to you in your life? At the end of the day, it's your kids, it's your girl. It's the people who are close to you that matter. All these idiots running around in the world, we try to do what we can to help them, but they're going to live their life, and they're going to do what they want to do. So we have to focus on the people who are close to us, and as a society, we've lost touch of that. I see so many parents who have ample opportunity to spend time with their children and do some fun things with them. Just even if you're just watching a movie, or you went for a walk in the park, or you just did anything, but it seems like nowadays everyone is so ready to run off and go get high, go smoke a blunt, or go get drunk at the first opportunity that they have, and do all this stupid crap. And you're missing out on time with the people who really care about you for a temporary fix, a temporary little high that is only lowering your vibration and causing you and people around you to be less happy, but you're missing out on the valuable time that you could be spending with people who care about you, especially your kids. You know, they didn't make the choice to be here in the world. You brought them in here, so take care of them and love them. They need us like crazy. Especially nowadays, you gotta instill the best in your children. You know, it's crazy because so many people's kids are such little bastards nowadays. Seriously, they're such pains in the ass. Like they just get on mine and everybody else's nerves so much because they don't have respect anymore. And why do they not have respect? Because they don't learn it. Kids are little computers. What you put into them is going to come out. How you program them is how they will react. And if you're off getting high, smoking your blunts, or whatever you're doing, your kid's at home getting programmed by the garbage on TV, and it's lowering their vibration. They're becoming brain dead, and they're learning bad values. When I was growing up, I'm only 29 years old, but, in the late 80s, early 90s, kids' cartoons still had moral values to them. Every show, it seemed, always had a point. It always had a moral lesson that they were trying to teach you. And nowadays, it's just about, like trying to make a cartoon that adults can watch when they're high because they don't want to pay attention to their kids, and their kids are just, something they can laugh about, or, whatever. And it's insane. So you have to really be careful of how you program your children and how you program yourself, because not only are you exposing your children and your family to whatever type of programming you choose, positive or negative, but you are being affected by those things as well. So your thought patterns are altered, your brain waves are lowered when you expose yourself to some of these garbage TV programs, or some of these mind-numbing video games and activities that people choose to take part of. So, you don't have to take my advice on everything. What I tell you is my opinion, but I base my opinion on years and years of research and studies on how these things affect us. So, take your kids to the park. Take them to do something cool. We got that miniature golf place out there in Cortlandville. That's pretty cool. They got the Blackleg Golf. Even though we live in a small city, there still is a lot of cool things to do. Even just read your kids a book. Nobody does it anymore. When I was a kid, I used to always ask for my mom to read me a story. How many times do your kids ask you to read them a story? No, they want their TV in the room so they could fall asleep watching, whatever stupid cartoon is on. But, when I was a kid, we got read stories that had, moral values. They had a point. These shows that we're watching nowadays have no point to them. Like Seinfeld was a show about nothing, and that took off, and it seems like, every show is a show about nothing, and there's no morals being instilled in anyone anymore. So all these things affect your vibration, and they change the way you think. They make you think more negatively about yourself and your families. So at a lower vibration, you don't achieve the success that you want in your life, and dumbs you down. And I hope you take the steps to remedy these things, because it's vitally important that we enjoy a little bit of time we're given on this earth. You know, you only have one chance in this plane of existence. You know, whether you believe in a resurrection, or you believe in, you know, past and future lives. You know, some people believe you come back as an animal, or you come back as whatever your karma says, and that's fine. Everyone gets to believe what they want to believe, but you only have one chance at this life that you now presently have. How are you going to spend that time? Are you going to spend it wisely and improve your life and improve the lives of people around you? Or are you just going to be a mind-numbed slave like everyone else around you? You know, this show and a few other shows like it are some of the few things that are waking people up out of their trance. And, you know, God himself is the only one who is 100% fully awake. And I call this show Wake Up with Big Al because I like the name for the show to be Wake Up, but it's also Wake Up with Big Al. You're on a journey with me, because waking up is an experience, and it's something that you do over the course of your life, and it's your only what percentage awake are you? How close are you to being a zombie, or how close are you to having the mind of God? You know, obviously we can't have the mind of God, but as you become more awake and more aware of what's going on in the world, you get a little closer. So this is I should call it Waking Up with Big Al. And stay tuned, because have I achieved my major success in life? Yeah, I have. In certain areas. But I'm still working on a lot of things. I say I have achieved great success because I am immensely happy in life. Seriously, I love to be alive. I am so thankful to God for every second that I have. It is such a beautiful life. But there's still a lot of things that I still want to achieve. I'd like to be a billionaire someday. I'd like to do a lot of good, positive things with my life. So join me on my journey, my friends, because this show is going to go through the roof as people watch this and shows like it, you know, like the Alex Jones show, Kevin Trudeau show. You know, these are shows that you can watch that wake you up and help raise your vibration, help raise your spirits, and help you enjoy a better life. And the law of attraction is such a powerful thing in life, and if you learn how to use it to its fullest, you can enjoy a beautiful, amazing life. And with that said, my friends, I truly love you guys out there with all my heart, and I hope you're making positive changes in your life day by day. You know, someone could say, well, I remember Big Al from back then, and he did this or he did that or whatever. Well, you know what? That was Big Al back then. That was Big Al 2002. That was Big Al 2005. You know, right now, today, I'm Big Al 2012. And today, you're whoever you are, 2012. And tomorrow, strive to be a little bit better than you were today. And strive to not make the same mistakes that you made today. Because that's what life is about, is becoming more awake as time goes on, and becoming more successful and happy in your life, and becoming a better person as the time passes. So think about that. Keep it real, love life, and stay wise, my friends. Peace.